Friends and family of the late Dr. Goh Keng Swee, including Prime Minister Lee Hsien Loong and Senior Minister Goh Chok Tong, have all gathered here to pay their respects to the man who played an instrumental role in the development of Singapore. Dr. Goh is Singapore's former Deputy Prime Minister. He has also taken on the role of Education, Defence and Finance Minister.
He changed the course of my career. When I was a young civil servant, I actually resigned from the civil service to join Shell Oil Company. He put a stop to it. He did not even know me then. So the point I'm making is, he followed the careers of young officers whom he thought would contribute more to Singapore.
I remember knowing him as a very small child. He'd come to Oxley Road for meetings in the basement. He drove a very old jalopy. Can't remember what it was now, Vauxhall, I think. But he didn't worry about fancy cars or fancy dress. He just wanted to get the job done. He had a tremendous grasp of how to get the job done. Later on, when I came into government, he was already retired from the cabinet, but he was still in MAS. He was like a god. I mean, he made the system work. That part of it, the monetary policy, and when later on I went to MAS, really we were building on what he had done. And a lot of what we're doing today is what he had done, and we build upon.
As Minister of Finance in 1959, Dr. Goh introduced an industrialization program, transforming Jurong, a swampy wasteland, into an industrial estate.
Singapore's industrial program is such a success that its own momentum is carrying it on to Phase 2 without the pause planned after Phase 1. Finance Minister Dr. Goh Keng Swee sometimes launches 2 or even 3 factories in a day. Also at Jurong, this steel mesh factory, which has been operating since the beginning of the year, was formally opened recently.
In 1961, he initiated the setting up of the Economic Development Board to oversee the economic development of Singapore.
Another aspect of building, on the Kallang Industrial Estate, the first of its kind to be used for one type of industry only. Here, on a 2,000-foot strip of the Geylang River, 23 small shipyards will be built and 19 factories to supply them, said Dr. Goh when he launched the first 3 yards to build and repair coasters, barges, tugs and ferries.
When Singapore gained independence on August 9, 1965, Dr. Goh became the first Minister of Defence. He built the foundation of the Singapore Armed Forces and implemented compulsory national service for all male Singaporeans above 18 years old.
The 2 ministries are in education and defence. His handiwork is everywhere, indelible. His footprints are everywhere. Old files that you see, and then when you read, the crispness of his articulation, the sharpness of his arguments, the clarity of his insight. And as a young minister, when you read this, you say, wow. So when you look at his life and say, how can one solitary life be so impactful, so powerful touch on so many areas in Singapore? I think that's his greatness. I think his ability to see a problem clearly and in a practical way just move everyone forward. So we have a lot to learn even from his life, and I think Singaporeans from all walks of life, old and especially the young, and I hope the young will be a good time to reflect on what a great impact he has and what a difference he's made into our lives.
In 1980, Dr. Goh, the Education Minister at the time, introduced streaming in schools to allow students to learn at their own pace. Dr. Goh passed away at home on the morning of May 14 after a long illness. He was 91.
I saw in Dr. Goh as a man who was more interested in getting the job done. Let's talk, but let's get on with the work. And that was my impression of him then. But of course, we went through a lot of policies which has a direct relation to our way of life, our education system and defense too. He believes in a very simple, frugal life and lots of savings for oneself, for the family, and for our Singapore. And that's what we are grateful for. He has done a lot for what before, and that has brought us to the kind of a level of nation building, development, which we are all proud of.
Several young Singaporeans, including university student Rachel Tan, also came to say goodbye.
I read his biography by his daughter-in-law, Tan Seok Soon, and I realized that a lot of what we have, Sentosa, the Ministry of Education, the streaming system, NS and EDB, a lot of were created by him. So I thought that, since he helped, create Singapore, I thought I'd just come to pay my respects, yeah.
The body of the late Dr. Goh Keng Swee will be at the family's Dunbar Walk home until May 20th. His body will then lie in state at Parliament House from May 20th to May 22nd. Members of the public may pay their last respects. A state funeral will be held on Sunday, May 23rd. As a mark of respect, the state flag will be flown at half-mast at all government buildings from May 20th to May 23rd.